a billion-dollar empire built on selling colored water to teenagers, now collapsing faster than Logan Paul's reputation after that infamous controversy. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Prime didn't fall because of lawsuits, health scares, or caffeine controversies. It fell because two YouTubers believed they could defy the basic principles of business. Prime was meant to be the Gatorade killer, the drink that proved influencers could conquer any industry they touched. Instead, it became proof that hype without substance is nothing more than a costly illusion in a shiny bottle. And the irony? The downfall was so predictable that even a middle schooler with a business textbook could have seen it coming. Let's rewind to 2022, when Logan Paul and KSI were riding high on manufactured drama, convinced they had discovered the secret to printing money. Their careers thrived on controversy, fake rivalries, and selling teenage obsession as entertainment. So naturally, they looked at the beverage industry, a field dominated by decades of research and billion-dollar corporations, and said, yeah, we can do better. The confidence was breathtaking. Gatorade was built by scientists who understood hydration and athletic performance. Red Bull created an entire category and spent years refining its formula. Prime, on the other hand, was a rebranded sports drink featuring the faces of two YouTubers, marketed like it was the second coming of hydration itself. They weren't selling a superior product. They were selling belonging to the brand identity of Logan and KSI, one overpriced sip at a time. At first, it worked. Those neon bottles weren't designed for athletes. They were designed for Instagram posts, TikTok videos, and playground bragging rights. The packaging demanded attention louder than Logan Paul at a press conference. Kids weren't buying Prime because it tasted better. They bought it because Logan and KSI told them it was cool. And teenagers will fight over anything if it's marketed right. The scarcity tactic was both brilliant and manipulative. Limited drops, timed restocks, and exclusive flavors made kids feel special for drinking what was essentially hype juice. Parents drove across towns to find a single bottle. Resellers flipped them for $50 each. It was chaos. Perfectly engineered chaos. But here's where things got predictable. While Logan and KSI celebrated their industry disruption, they committed every classic mistake that destroys overhyped brands. Mistake number 1. Believing celebrity could replace quality. Reviews from non-fans were brutal. Artificially sweet and chemical tasting like cotton candy mixed with cough syrup. When your product tastes like regret and artificial flavoring, no amount of influencer power can save it. Mistake number 2. Greed. Prime Energy entered the scene. Same branding, now packed with 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's 2 Red Bulls worth of stimulant, marketed to the same kids who were already obsessed with the regular version. Schools banned it. Parents were outraged. Health experts sounded alarms. Logan went on his podcast insisting it was for adults, while the entire brand design screamed, for children. The irony was staggering. Mistake number 3. Ignoring sustainability, the foundation of any real business. Prime didn't create a new category. It tried to muscle into one already owned by giants who'd spent decades cementing their dominance. They were David fighting Goliath, but without the strategy or substance to compete. Then came the lawsuits. Class actions over dangerous PFAS chemicals, the kind that linger far longer than public apologies. False advertising claims for calling it zero-toxin hydration, while filled with questionable ingredients. And most tragic of all, 14-year-old hospitalized after drinking 2 cans of Prime Energy. The real death blow came from Refresco, Prime's own bottling partner. After investing millions in a facility dedicated to Prime's custom bottles, Refresco demanded $68 million when the company couldn't meet its payment obligations. Internal emails revealed panic, Logan frantically discussing international expansion before we're cooked in the US. Prime's empire was cracking, and investors who once flocked to meetings vanished overnight. UK sales plunged by 70%. Profits collapsed by over 90%. Retail chains reported a 92% drop in weekly sales. Those $25 12-packs at Target were now $9 and still collecting dust. The chaos of empty shelves had been replaced by the silence of clearance racks. Meanwhile, brands like Monster and Celsius quietly absorbed Prime's abandoned customers, offering better drinks at lower prices, without the influencer ego. Gatorade didn't even acknowledge Prime's existence. When you own a category, time takes care of the imitators. Senator Chuck Schumer summed it up perfectly. These cans look like Gatorade, but hit like a double espresso. Prime had gone from pop culture phenomenon to public health concern in record time. But the most brutal evidence wasn't in the courts. It was on social media. The same TikTokers who once fought over Prime were now posting videos of bottles collecting dust. One Amazon reviewer called it cotton candy cough syrup. Another described an aftertaste of chemicals and existential dread. The internet had moved on, and Prime was left behind, a relic of 2022 hype culture. In the end, what killed Prime wasn't the lawsuits or the bad press. those were just symptoms. The real disease was arrogance, the belief that fame equals expertise. Logan and KSI thought they could out-hype business fundamentals, but you can't build an empire on borrowed credibility. You can't sustain success on noise and novelty. They promised elite hydration, but delivered overpriced disappointment. They targeted children with a fun sports drink, then sold those same children adult-level caffeine under the same branding. They signed massive supply deals on hype, then couldn't pay when reality hit. And when the backlash came, instead of reformulating or apologizing, they blamed the haters. Prime's story is now a textbook example of what happens when marketing eclipses substance. Hype can buy you the first purchase, but only quality earns the second. If your product can't deliver on its promises, even your biggest fans will turn away. And when you're marketing over promises, lawyers will gladly turn those claims into weapons against you. Ultimately, Prime's rise and fall isn't just a story about a failed drink. It's a case study in the difference between viral fame and real business. Logan and KSI mistook momentum for foundation and popularity for credibility. They built their empire on quicksand and acted shocked when it sank. In the end, the brand that was meant to prove influencers could dominate any industry proved something far more timeless. Hype fades. Fundamentals don't. Would you like me to make this version sound slightly more cinematic and narrator-driven next? Like a Netflix or BBC documentary script? Same text, just narrated tone?